Hi everyone, I'm Andy Edgerton from the relationship management team at Sennheiser. You're watching The Pulse, and today I'm here with my good friend Frank Turner.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking about, as you will have seen from the YouTube channel, we've kind of done some sessions about what a tour manager is, production manager, front of house, all these different touring roles to support artists when they're on tour. I thought it'd be a good idea to get an artist's perspective of what these roles are. So, when you go on tour, let's start with the tour manager.
Right, yeah.
What would you look for in a tour manager?
Well, I've been with the same tour manager for a very long time because she's incredible. Tree, who I think you know,
Yeah.
Tree Stead. And Tree, actually, she won Tour Manager of the Year once upon a time, tour managing me back in 2014. I think she should win every year. I mean, I've had a few other people before then, and I had some people working for me just in the States for a time. Tree now does me internationally. The tour manager's role is, the easiest way of describing it is that everything is your problem. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm in awe of Tree in the way she does. And there's a funny sort of cascade of authority. Obviously, like, in the build-up to a tour, I guess I'm probably the boss and I sort of make decisions about how things are going to be. The minute we're on tour, I am not the boss. Tree is the boss and I do what I'm told. And like, you know, it's funny, a lot of people think that tour is this sort of endless stag do, and it's not. It's a very regimented working environment. And for me particularly, as the sort of person standing at the front, should we say, you know, every night before I go to bed, Tree will give me the day sheet for the following day that tells me exactly what I'm doing for pretty much every minute of the day. Including, you know, a block of time that says, you've got nothing on here if you want to go for a walk around town or see some friends. That's when you're going to do it. But, you know, it's very, very detailed what she does. And then, of course, she has to deal with anything that comes up. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if... and it's just any problems of any kind, she will just take care of. And it can be anything at all from, like, you know, rider running out to, like, somebody hassling someone to... the venue not being ready for a certain something. It's just, she is the overseer of the whole project, and ultimately the buck stops with her and everything, which means she has to be on top of it all. And then finally, I would also say that she preempts things a lot. I mean, this is going to sound like a trivial example, but like quite often I'll get to a point where I go, my God, I'm out of clean clothes, what am I going to do? And it turns out there's a laundry runner standing there waiting for my clean clothes already because Tree's been keeping an eye on my laundry situation.
Is that t-shirt on for 4 days?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and it's like, I mean, tour manager, TM, we quite often joke that stands for tour mum, because she is essentially quite a matriarchal figure. Yeah. But she's very, very, very good at her job. I mean, you know, I have worked with a few tour managers myself. I've seen many others doing their job over the years, whether it's tour managing friends of mine or the support band's tour manager, or indeed the headline band's tour manager with the support acts. And like, with no disrespect to any of those people, I genuinely think she's one of the best in the business. And you know, she sleeps less than anybody else on the tour because she has to be first up and last to bed. And quite often, you know, even just stuff like, she's quite often the person who liaises with the bus driver. So if the bus driver runs into a problem at 4 a.m. of any kind, she's the one who gets woken up, and that's just how it is. So she works very, very hard.
And I guess, like, before the tour, sort of all the pre-production that goes in with the hotels, the tour
all
bus,
that kind of thing, and the budget, you know, running the budget, just seeing what we can and can't afford to do, booking flights, sorting out visas, sorting out ferries for buses, hotels, of course, hotels with days off, and then, you know, sort of figuring out quite often during a tour, like, I will have to go and do press during the day, sometimes in the next town over, so she's got to sort out a driver in a car, or indeed in the States quite often on a day off I will fly to another city to do a promo trip, so that's hotels and that's flights, and it's just she does an awful lot of work which I don't see her do, but you know it's been done because everything just happens, and there's a degree to which when I go onto a tour I slightly just kind of let go. Do you know what I mean? And just allow myself to be sort of like put through this. I mean, I work hard, but I let go of control. Do you know what I mean? And because it's all been thought out. And she then, of course, will be liaising with my management and with the record label and with the promoters and all that kind of thing to make sure that I'm maximising use of my time when I'm on tour to achieve my ends as an artist. So I there's a lot of trust there. Do you know what I mean? I have to believe that she's knows what she's doing, which she does. And then it's funny, like one of the things that me and the guys in the Sleeping Souls, my band, have learned over the years is to stop backseat tour managing, because all of us come from quite a self-sufficient sort of musical background in tour managing ourselves, or indeed Tarrant, my bass player, has been a tour manager for other bands and all this kind of thing. If someone's doing the job right, the worst thing you can do, or the most annoying thing you can do for them, is to second guess. So don't ask why it is that you're going here first to then go there. Just do what you're told. Because she's thought about it. She's planned all of this 2 months ago.
And all this has been, like you said, it's all designed to just get the best from you when you need to be relaxed, you need to be rested, you need to be...
Well, and that's it. A lot of it is about sort of, because touring is a physically extremely demanding mode of existence as an artist, and she... Just stuff like, I mean, one of the things, this is going to sound trivial, but it's a good example. I'm terrible in the morning before I've eaten something. I'm a monster. I'm a nightmare. And I've had tour managers in the past who didn't really pay attention to that, and quite often I'll be doing breakfast radio at 7 in the morning, that kind of thing. And if I have breakfast radio at 7 in the morning, she doesn't just wake me up. She wakes me up with a coffee and a donut or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, get that in you, do the radio, then come back and we'll go to a diner and have food. Then, do you know what I mean? It's just... So it's about making sure that I'm kind of in a good mood, and indeed that my voice is okay. She does loads of stuff in terms of thinking about, my health as well. She's all over everybody's health, because it's very easy to get sick while you're on tour. Just get colds, which will mess up your singing voice, that kind of thing. And indeed, I've injured myself endlessly on tour, and she's taken me to hospitals and to doctors, and she's just the core of the operation.
Amazing. So any aspirational tour managers out there, some great tips of what an artist would want from
if you're aspiring to be a tour manager, I would say that everything's your problem, you're the overseer of the whole operation, and attention to detail is the real thing, and just thinking ahead and trying to preempt problems before they arise, because the nature of tour is that problems arise every day, and one of the things I enjoy about tour is that it makes you into a problem solving kind of person, because when the problem comes up it has to get solved now. You can't put it off for a week and just kind of decide
absolutely.
that maybe you'll make that phone call next week. If there's problems, make a call now to get done, because tomorrow you've got to be 500 miles away doing it all again somewhere else. But so attention to detail, planning ahead, all that kind of thing, and just really trying to see things from the artist's perspective, whilst also liaising with the rest of the team as much as you can.
Yeah, brilliant. So moving on from tour manager, I always think of that a tour manager is for the people. When we talk about the equipment and the gear and the production side, you have a production manager.
We certainly do, who is in fact how we know each other.
It is,
our mutual old friend Dougie.
Who I lived with for 3 years, I think. 3 or 4 years.
I mean, I feel like I've done that on a moving vehicle over the years. Yeah, Dougie's and that is the right way of putting it. The tour manager deals with people, production manager deals with stuff. So Dougie's role is again absolutely vital. He deals with the equipment, and it's not just a case of, guitars, amps, and drums. I mean, to start just from there. Then there's all the microphones, cabling. When we tour, we tend to take all our microphone stands, cables, and desks with us. So there's all of that kind of thing has to be taken into consideration. Most importantly, internationally. So we're talking about running equipment in America. So I have a separate backline in America, which involves having a lockup in America where all that equipment has to go. It all has to be gathered before a tour starts. If we're flying in for a tour, someone's got to check it all works before the tour starts. So he's got to sort all of that kind of thing out. There are things about different radio frequencies for radio packs and radio microphones. That all has to be looked into. Things break and they have to get fixed. And, Dougie will spend quite a lot of the first half every day taking a cab to a local music shop to buy guitar strings or a C harmonica because someone nicked one the night before. Whatever it is, do you know what I mean?
To make sure that everything's there for the show.
Yeah.
And I guess with the lights as well, so like if I know Ali's doing your lights, if she's sort of done a design or needs extra things coming in.
Yes.
Dougie's the one who has to sort all that out.
Exactly.
Vendors and
exactly.
PA
And again, so working with the budget. So at the start, so for some tours, you just take essentially your instruments with you and you use the in-house PAs and that kind of thing. At the other end of the scale, when you're doing an arena tour, which you do, quite a lot of arenas don't even have a stage in them.
Yeah.
So you then have to bring your own stage, your own PA, your own lights, all that kind of business. You're essentially hiring an empty room. So Dougie has to figure out what we can afford from the budget for all of that kind of thing. He has to figure out getting there, which just involves trucking, dealing with truck drivers, how many extra crew that you might need in order to sort of get all this stuff set up in time for the show, and then pack down again to get it in the truck to get it to the next show. It's and dealing with all this kind of thing internationally, more so as time goes by in the world that we currently live in, carnets, so flying equipment from one country to another. He has a lot to do and he does it very well. And again, much as with the tour manager, from a musician's point of view, you know he's doing his job properly if you don't notice it. Almost. Do you know what I mean? It's like most days I will be off doing press, radio, all that kind of thing. And I'll walk on stage for sound check and there'll be a fully set up backline that is all plugged in and it's all working. And that's the whole crew who work on that. But Dougie is the kind of central coordinator for the equipment side of things. And Dougie and Tree work together. I refer to them as the Tower of Power when we're on tour. And they're the kind of logistical hub of the operation.
Brilliant. And then moving on to some of the other roles.
Yeah.
The next one we're going to cover is the front of house engineer. So
Yes.
this is the guy or girl at the front who is mixing all the inputs, all the microphones and sources that are coming off the stage that come into a mixing console that the crowd hear out of the speakers.
Yeah. And therefore, arguably, if not certainly one of the most important jobs on the whole touring party, because you're talking about music, and they are in charge of what the audience hears. And it's a strange thing because as a musician, I will never ever hear properly what my front of house engineer is doing because I'm on the other side of the PA. So there's trust involved. I've had a lot of different sound guys over the years, and lots of great people I've worked with. My current guy is called Luke Buckby, and he's based in Boston, which is an interesting thing because essentially over time I've ended up with mostly a UK based crew for the simple reason it makes life a lot easier. However, Luke is the exception to this because he is the best. Obviously I'm doing this on report, but like the first time he ever did a gig for us, he was standing in because my regular guy at the time couldn't make the show, and after the gig my manager, my tour, Dougie and Tree, like everyone kind of came running backstage to say that guy is the best front of house engineer you've ever had. And Luke's amazing, and he, every day I run through the set list with him, what we're going to play. We don't play the same thing every night. We don't play completely different things every night. There's generally some kind of pillars in the set list, but that's important for him to know about that. Is there a song where I'm going to play electric guitar rather than acoustic guitar? Is there a solo number? How many songs are we doing for an encore? Are we doing an encore? All this kind of thing. Luke also, his level of expertise with sound blows my mind, and I'm genuinely not entirely sure how he does what he does. But one of the things he does do, which I find, which is interesting on a lot of levels, he does a thing, so Luke records every show we do.
Yep.
In his house somewhere is a mountain of hard drives that has, Luke's been with us for about 4 or 5 years now. He's got every show the last 4 or 5 years on a hard drive. Not mixed, and I'm not going to be the one to mix them, thank you very much. But part of the reason he does that is that every day he does a thing called virtual sound check, where basically he'll pull up the recording of the previous night's show and he can make a start on getting the sound right for the room we're in, because that's the thing, it's not just mixing the band, it's mixing the band to the room that you're in. He can make a start on that whilst we're kind of, where the crew and band will be tuning guitars and I'll be doing interviews, whatever it might be. It does lead to humour on occasion, because people who don't know what a virtual sound check is, I'll be in an interview backstage and then they'll hear my voice singing through the PA, which was obviously recorded the night before, but they think that I'm singing to a backing track or something. I'm not, for the record. But so it is crucially important what he does, because that is what the paying punters at the show, the audience, the people who the entire thing is about, their central point of interaction is through Luke's work.
Do you have much? Do you have conversations with him? Well, obviously you've got your recorded music, so like you're about to do a new album. He'll have a listen to that, so he can sort of look at what it should be live. But obviously you want to keep it live as well.
Yeah, totally.
So is there some things that you sort of insist on, or maybe would like to take from a record to recreate live, or do you just give him
generally speaking, I mean, he will get, he will listen to the records a lot. If we have a new record coming out, he'll be one of the first people who gets a copy of it to check it out and see the vibe. I mean, it also helps that we've been working together a while, and I think he instinctively understands a lot what I'm aiming for as a band, as an artist and all that kind of thing. But we will have conversations about stuff and about ideas from time to time, and sometimes I will go and listen to the virtual soundcheck thing and just make a good comment or two. But part of the reason I love working with Luke is that I really don't have many comments. Yeah, he's very, very good at what he's doing.
Effects and vocal effects. And
yeah, totally. And yeah, he's a phenomenal engineer.
Yeah, fantastic. And a great reason to go to your show, not just to watch you, but if you want any tips on being a good sound engineer, then go and listen to
he does a lot of stuff with group compression.
Oh yeah.
He told me once.
Yeah.
And if you know what that means, you're doing better than I am. But he's very, very good at what he does.
Excellent.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos just like this.